Hi everyone, it's Amanda from TimeTravelHypnosis.com and NWAOutThereMom.com, and I just want to make a quick video because a date has just passed where someone predicted something related to Ascension or related to something similar to the event, which was called the Eye. And so we're in between the dates that this person gave under hypnosis that this event was happening called the Eye. It was the 22nd and the 24th, and we're on the 23rd. And if you're like me, yesterday came and went, and you waited and nothing felt different, nothing happened, everything didn't turn white, no doorway appeared. And so I know that a lot of us who are just waiting so patiently for something to happen that we can see so that we know that something's happened, you can feel really disappointed when a date that's, forecasted comes and goes and nothing happens for you. I just want to say that I think that just because you don't notice that something has happened doesn't necessarily mean that nothing has happened. Because when you look back at 2012, I was too busy with 3 really small children to notice about the whole 2012 thing. I mean, I kind of knew about it a little, but not to the extent a lot of other people did. And they really expected a big major shift and to see it and feel it. And I know I have friends who were really disappointed when they couldn't perceive that anything had happened. But what I was thinking about was when you look back on your life between now and 2012, or between now and 3 years ago, or now and a year ago, when you look back, you can see, you can feel how different your life is from what it was back then. Like for me, I get these waves of like unconditional love and gratitude where I just like, I could be drying my hair and I'll think of something and it will just trigger this feeling and I'll just start crying because I'm so grateful for everybody. I just love everybody and the world is so fantastic, and I love when that happens. I love when those little waves come up because it feels so good. And that never ever happened to me before about a year and a half or 2 years ago. I never noticed those things. I just feel like I'm aware of more things now than I was before. So what I'm getting at is that we may want it to be really visible, and we may want this really outward show so that it can validate for us that something has changed. But I think if we just take a minute to look back on how we've changed, and maybe how the world to us has changed as well, like the people we know. How many more people do you know now that are similar to you versus 10 years ago? I mean, there was like nobody 10 years ago, and now we're everywhere. So if you're disappointed, if a date comes and goes, as somebody said, this amazing thing's gonna happen, and then you don't notice anything, doesn't mean nothing happened. It just means you haven't noticed the results of that yet. You haven't seen anything, you haven't seen any changes manifest in your personal life to reflect that and to validate that to you. But one of the reasons I'm putting this out there is because I think that we all should start paying attention to anything new that comes up for us. Like, I don't know, the channeling I did said that we're getting some new gift related to time. So I actually might practice that thing with the penny and seeing if I can switch timelines, because that would be really cool. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I watched an interview with Allison Coe today, and she was talking about how she had a client whose higher self said that she should go back and rewrite an experience that was really troubling to her and rewrite it the way she wanted to. And I've done this for a client as well. And then I saw other practitioners who said, never do that, never change your past, that's terrible, and you're screwing up your learning for this life, which I don't agree with because I really think there's so many different timelines, and also we have free will. So if that's something that we want to do, I don't see why we couldn't do that. Anyway, so that also reminded me of the channeling where, if you can go, what does she call it? Something causality. Retro causality, where something in the future can change the past. So maybe this is kind of like what we'll be able to do. We just go, and you can do it in meditation, not necessarily just hypnosis, but you can go back to something that's unpleasant or has impacted you in some way that you carry that grief or guilt or something. You go back and rewrite it the way you like and see if that changes your whole timeline up until now and into the future. So maybe that's one of the things we'll be able to do. We just sort of rewrite our past, and that would be fun, right? Anyway, it could be anything. Now, I'm not saying that's it, but just, I think if we keep our eyes open and we keep our thoughts open and we just look for hints and clues and changes, that we will see that things have changed. And whether we feel a big event that's been forecasted on a certain date or not, I don't think that matters as much as the change that we can see when we look back and we say, oh my gosh, all these things have affected me. This is real. If we want validation, look back and then acknowledge that you have changed. Other people seem to have changed, maybe because you've changed, and you'll get that validation. So anyway, hang in there, you guys. We are progressing. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it, and sometimes it gets really frustrating, and I feel it too, trust me, because I went recently for a long time without feeling any of that gratitude wave that I love so much. You get kind of you get used to that, and then when you don't have it, you're like, this sucks. I want more of the good stuff. So anyway, hang in there. I'm right there with you. If you have any experiences, if you did notice anything, if you did see the white light in the doorway and all that, please tell me, because I love that stuff. And also, if you share it, other people can see it too. And if they had that experience, then they can validate their experience knowing somebody else had the same thing happen. Anyway, y'all have a good weekend. I will hopefully talk to you next week. Bye.